Okay, welcome everyone. We are so excited to join you all tonight. As you have heard, we have been talking and whispering about launch and when it's coming. And so tonight's call, we really wanted to come together and share with you a little bit pull back the curtain a little bit and share with you a little bit of information. As I'm sure, though, you all are very aware, just like we are, March kind of took us all by surprise. We have all now been a part of history with this unprecedented times that has been put upon us. And with that, things kind of slowed down a little bit come mid-March. And you know what? That's okay, because now we're getting to where we've got a handle of it on it, and we know how we can start to respond. And so with that, we wanted to come to you tonight and share with you all the things that we still have available at our fingertips, what we can be talking about and what we can be sharing about. And of course, we wanted to pull back that curtain a little bit and share a little bit more about the launch and all the things that are happening. And so to get us started, we wanted to kick things off with our co-founder and CEO, Miss Lori Bush. So Lori, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Meredith, and hi, everybody. How are you all doing? I thought I'd start off with a little story tonight that about a very dear friend of mine. Actually, he's my mother's first cousin, which makes him my first cousin once removed. A little trivia and family terminology you probably already knew or don't need to know. But anyway, for purposes of this discussion and to protect his privacy, I'm going to call him Jack. Jack's brilliant, he's very accomplished, but he's also a little bit like the characters in a Woody Allen movie. The characters that Woody Allen himself plays. He's got a very high negativity bias. He's the kind of person who, upon arriving at a beautiful vacation destination, will dwell on how miserable the plane ride was. Or while he's entertaining friends with a meal he loves to cook that he's prepared in his beautiful home, he'll talk about how hard he worked to prepare the food.
Okay, we lost Lori for a minute, so we'll get connection back here in just a second. Okay, so Lori, we will have to come back to you here in just a moment while you get your video back up and going. She's probably held up on all things that are happening with Zoom these days, with everybody hopping onto Zoom and pulling that channel. And of course, we decided to do prime time. So with that being said, we'll see if we can get her back on here really quick. And hold on one second. Let me just make sure as she has rejoined. Okay, Lori, can you hear us?
Completely lost you guys. When did I... Can you hear me?
We can hear you. You're a little bit garbled. We lost you right as you started talking about Jack.
Oh, geez. I'm so sorry. Should we give this another go?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. Of course, the wonders of Zoom, where everybody's on Zoom these days. And so let's look at this as a happy accident that I get to do this, tell you the story about Jack. I'm not sure where I left off, but my friend Jack, who's my cousin, is also very much about, he has this negativity bias. He's kind of like the characters, I think I mentioned, that Woody Allen plays in movies. And he's the kind of person who, upon arrival at a beautiful vacation location, he'll dwell on how miserable the plane ride was, or while he's entertaining friends with a meal that he's prepared in his beautiful home, he'll talk about how hard he worked to prepare the food and how expensive the ingredients had become and how it didn't turn out exactly as he'd hoped. So you can only imagine what's going on in Jack's head these days. And one of the ways he's been dealing with his crazy anxiety over the COVID pandemic is to send me texts about his fears of the worst. Now, I can't change how he's feeling, but I also have to say that by him writing down his negative feelings and sending them to me, he's doing us both a disservice. So I finally sent a note back to Jack suggesting that when he has these negative feelings and is about to pick up the phone to text me, he should put the phone down and try a short breathing exercise. I also asked him to only text me positive things that are happening in his life. That was a few weeks ago. Since I sent him that note, I hadn't heard from him, so I became concerned that in Jack's case, it wasn't a matter of no news being good news, but rather good news is no news. So yesterday I called him and we had the most delightful conversation. He sounded great, although he admitted he was a little stir crazy, but his outlook was much more positive. And we talked about things like golden moment evening rituals that I do with my husband and that we've been doing every night, and how we've all been having special times with our loved ones who are home, as well as connecting with our friends around the world that we might not otherwise have connected with. Now, if you think you don't know Jack, let's see what I did there. Think again. We all know Jack. In fact, the reason I'm sharing this story today is that a couple of years ago, I would have been much more like him. But what's changed in the past couple of years is that I've come to appreciate the impact that stress has on health.
Well, unfortunately, it looks like we lost Lori again. So is what we're going to do while her video comes back and whatnot, why don't we go ahead and move on to our next guest speaker, who's going to share a little bit about taking control and what we can do around that. So I'm going to actually turn it over to the director of our mindfulness content. She is the one doing so much work behind the scenes that we're going to chat about here in a little bit. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Kristen Race. Dr. Race?
Great, Meredith. Thank you so much. I hope you all can hear me well. It's funny that Lori told that story about Jack, because I've decided I know a few Jacks, maybe more than I want. But the reality is, if you're like most people right now, COVID has you a little bit stressed out. And you might feel tired, anxious, worried, lonely, depressed. You may be annoyed by all of those people who aren't taking this pandemic seriously enough. And you might be equally bothered by those who are hoarding all the Clorox wipes and the toilet paper. You may feel exhausted at the end of the day and struggle to get out of bed in the morning, despite the fact that you feel like you really aren't doing much of anything right now. And the reality is that our anxiety thrives on uncertainty, which is why in times like these, taking control of something, anything, can provide a sense of security. For some people, that control looks like stocking the pantry with toilet paper and cleaning solutions. This is a small way that our brain can register that we're doing something to protect ourselves under dangerous circumstances. It's part of our survival mechanisms. But the constant stimulation of our survival mechanisms is also exhausting. Constantly releasing cortisol, that stress hormone in our brain, eventually depletes our supply of this stimulating neurotransmitter. And we wind up feeling and looking exhausted for what feels like no apparent reason. And in fact, our brain uses more energy trying to navigate uncertainty than it does dealing with known bad circumstances. And right now, our brain is bouncing into survival mode all the time. Yes, it happens when we think about the amount of toilet paper in our pantry, but it also gets triggered when we're out on a walk and we see people wearing masks, or when we hear about somebody in our community who's gotten sick, or we get a notice that our kids aren't going to be able to return to school at all this spring. So if you've experienced any of these feelings in the last several weeks, know that there is a reason. Your brain's responding to some unprecedented circumstances in the only way it knows how, by kicking into survival mode. The good news is that despite our current circumstances, there are still a lot of things that we do have that we can use to give our brain a sense of control. And we can even create personal growth during this difficult time. A few weeks ago, I too was deep into these panicked thoughts of what's going to happen to my work, to my parents, to my investments. Even the postponement of my kids' soccer season had me a little bit freaked out. But I was able to flip the switch on my anxiety, and remarkably quickly, by realizing that with 15 years of experience and research in the field of mindfulness, I had a gift that could not only support me and my family, but that I could share with people who really needed it. And in many ways, this felt like one of the only things that I could control. And this is my key message to you. By focusing on the things that we can control right now, we can both build resilience to the anxiety, and we can create a tremendous opportunity for personal growth. Life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. I love this quote by Pastor Chuck Swindoll. If we want to build strength, resilience, and grow from our current situation, we have to be clear about focusing on what we can control right now. And I think we have two choices. We can succumb to the stress and anxiety of this pandemic, or we can leverage the opportunity to create personal growth. I wholeheartedly believe that there are lessons that can be learned during this crisis that will not only help us grow personally, but will improve and support our communities as a whole. President John F. Kennedy once noted, when written in Chinese, the word crisis is composed of two characters. One represents danger, and the other represents opportunity. We have a choice to either focus on our losses or find those opportunities. Our capacity to grow personally during COVID-19 will be determined by our ability to let go of the things that we cannot control and embrace the things we can. As I've tried to navigate the last several weeks, I've found coming back to what I can control to be the most grounding remedy for my stress and anxiety. It's my mindfulness practice, my self-care, my gratitude practice, and intentionally cherishing this gift of time with my family that have been the essential components to my resilience. So I want to leave you with 3 things that you can do to create growth, to build resilience, and to increase happiness during COVID. First, you can control your breath. Controlling the way we breathe could be the ultimate hack for controlling our brain state, our mood, our productivity, our reactions, and our resilience. Research suggests that bringing awareness to both the timing and pace of our breath can have a positive effect both on our brain and our body. So by using micro breathing practices to check in with our breath throughout the day, we can bring our sympathetic and our parasympathetic nervous system back into balance. One of the things that I'm doing dozens of times a day is washing my hands, and I imagine you are too. And 20 seconds of washing your hands can feel like a long time. What if every time you washed your hands, you integrated a simple breathing practice? Maybe you try inhaling to the count of 4 and exhaling to the count of 6. Do a couple of breath cycles like this as you wash. This is a simple way to trigger a relaxation response in our brain to keep anxiety at bay and to stimulate our prefrontal cortex. Number 2, you can control your self-care. You've heard it a million times. You have to put your own oxygen mask on first. Prioritizing your own self-care is not only something you can control, but it may be one of the most important things you can do right now to keep yourself mentally and physically healthy. It boosts serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin. All these things are essential for building resilience in times of stress. And adequate sleep, exercise, and nutrition can keep our immune systems sharp. And in addition, a lot of us have been given a gift of time that we haven't had in quite a while. Time to do something for our own well-being. Integrating mindfulness into my skincare routine has become a nightly ritual that I look forward to every evening. I take a moment to share 3 good things about my day with my family as my cleansing mask dries. I light some candles and I savor the relaxing effect of my crystal energy wand. And my kids now even want to join me for what they call a spa session. It's an amazing way to end the day. And finally, number 3, you can help others. Equally grounding for me over these last few weeks has been my love of my work. I've spent the majority of my time split between providing resiliency workshops and creating content for an incredibly exciting Solvasa project that you'll hear more about later on this call. For me, my work is a way for me to focus on helping others. And a recent study suggests that giving social support to others may even benefit the giver more than the receiver on a neurobiological level. Researchers have used functional MRI scans to pinpoint 3 specific brain benefits of giving social support to others. When we provide help to others, we reduce stress-related activity in the amygdala. It creates greater reward-related activity in the ventral striatum, and it creates greater caregiving-related activity in the septal area. So on a neurobiological level, the rewards of giving and receiving social support creates the ultimate win-win situation for you and your potential connectors and customers. As I've immersed myself deeper into my work over the last several weeks, nothing has hit me harder than perhaps how incredibly timely and relevant my work with Solvasa has become. In the last month, my phone has been ringing off the hook with calls from corporate clients, schools, and city leaders looking for tools to help their communities. People are seeking out these practices. And in just a few weeks, you all will have access to an incredible mindfulness tool that you can use to help others. A tool that Meredith is going to share the details about in just a few minutes. So I'm not going to lie, I did not see COVID-19 as an opportunity when it felt like the world came to a screeching halt a few weeks ago. But for those who have been furloughed, laid off, had their hours cut, their pay cut, not only can Solvasa provide them with practices and strategies to manage the stress that all these life changes entail, but we can also give them the gift of an opportunity by becoming a Solvasa connector, an opportunity to take their future into their own hands, to share the gift of mindfulness and integrative beauty with their own communities, and a gift that can even help them support their own families financially in times of great need. I truly believe this gift of control that we can offer ourselves and others through our connection to Solvasa is priceless. And that is something to feel really great about giving. I could not be more thrilled about being part of the Solvasa community at this point in history. We have a bright future ahead of us and an incredible opportunity to create a positive impact on our world. And now, it is my pleasure to turn this call over to Solvasa co-founder and expert on all things self-care, Dr. Ritu Chopra.
Thank you, Dr. Race. I appreciate that, and I agree 100%. This is the time where we need to focus on self-care. I'm completely stressed. I wish I had more tools like Dr. Race does to really calm my mind and things like that. As everyone knows, I'm a plastic surgeon, and I've seen self-care actually change people. From people coming into my office for Botox, for fillers, for massage, for a facial, for even a procedure done. When they start thinking about themselves and doing self-care, other things fall into place. They'll start eating better. They'll start resting more. They'll start ingesting things that are better. So even just going to the salon, getting your hair done or your nails done, those self-care things help you on your way to health. But what do we do now, right? Spas and salons, and even my practice has been deemed not essential, which I find, it hurts my ego. Nevertheless, I'm non-essential. But what is essential? You are essential. You're essential to your family. You're essential to your kids. You're essential to yourself. So what can we do for self-care, and how can we do it if our salons are closed, if our spas are closed? Well, I can tell you what we can do. We're going to make our bathroom a sanctuary or a spa. What I'm going to talk about, two things I love, are the wand and the distressants. This wand is wonderful and does many wonderful things just by itself. It does facial massage, which actually boosts circulation. So if you're ingesting all those anti-inflammatories, they're coming to the skin because we're increasing the circulation. It also reduces the puffiness. And how does it reduce the puffiness? Well, it opens up lymphatic channels. Lymphatic channels are all based upon pressure. They're passive channels. And if we can combine a little bit of constant pressure, we can open up those channels, decrease the puffiness, and increase the lymphatic flow, which decreases the inflammation. What else can we do? We can also do massage of all the muscles. Obviously, I need Botox here, but I'm closed, so no one can get Botox unless you guys want to come to my house, which we can talk later. But this massage actually helps reducing those fine lines. And why is massage so beneficial? Why does massage feel so good when you leave a massage therapist? Well, it increases endorphins in your body, the good hormones that make you feel good. And this will do the exact same thing. By increasing those good hormones, we are fighting cortisol, the bad hormone, which has caused inflammation, and it's caused by stress. We add the distressant to that, the ashwagandha, the chaga mushrooms, all those things are anti-inflammatory. You add this to the wand. And finally, our breathing. If that 5 minutes in our bathroom, if we can do the breathing with that, it's an amazing way to increase our immune system, our resilience. And once we're taking care of ourselves, we can take care of others that much better. So remember, self-care is key in times of trauma, anxiety, and COVID.
I love that, Dr. Chopra. Thank you so much. Okay, I think we actually have Lori back on the call. So I want to, Lori, are you with us? I think you are. Hold on one second. There you go.
Got it. Oh my gosh. So you can imagine, I've been sitting here doing my breathing, talking about cortisol with the unstable internet connection at my house. These times are more trying than ever, I will say. So one of the reasons that I have got to say I'm especially grateful for Solvasa. I have to say the work that's gone into building this company and the resources created by our Connected Collective are a major part of keeping me healthy, sane at times like this, and even happy. You know, okay, so my internet went out. It's not the end of the world. There's much, much more important things going on as we navigate these crazy times. Our brand new company got off to a great start in February. In March, we started off actually pretty strong as well. And then bam, you know, the world came to a screeching halt. I don't need to tell anybody that. But that's okay. People needed time to adjust to the current circumstances. There's been so much change to digest in such a compressed period of time. And while some social selling businesses are actually seeing their sales increase because after all, this is already a work from home business model, it's clearly not a great time to be prospecting for a brand new company when people were already dealing with massive uncertainty. but we're resilient, and Solvasa's products are all about resilience. So over the past few weeks, we've been reviewing, revising the programs for our new circumstances to enable you to compassionately market our products and the social selling business opportunity for people who need us more than ever before. And tonight you're going to hear, as you've already heard a little bit, about what's available to help you reignite your business towards the end of April and as we head into our extended launch phase in May. It's a tough time, but we're all going to come through this, and we're all going to come through it together, and we're going to come through it better if we can lift the quality of life for ourselves and for others along the way. So now what you all have been waiting for, I'll turn you back over to Meredith, and who has hopefully a much better internet connection than I do to give you the most important updates here.
Thank you so much, Lori. And I'm going to go back to sharing out my desktop here. And I apologize because with all the things, I forgot to click over the slide. So, you know, I heard so many amazing messages just now. And I've got to tell you, the one that really hits the heart was Dr. Chopra saying, we're essential. You are essential. And what an incredible message to be able to not just take in personally, but to be able to give others, to be able to share that language with them. And, you know, everything that we're going to talk about right now very quickly, because I want to honor everybody's time, because I know things are crazy busy. But we're going to go over a couple of things that I want you guys to start thinking about. How are you going to share this great information out to your networks? And let's start with something that is highly anticipated. We've talked about it here and there. There's been whispers about, you know, this mindfulness content. And, you know, Dr. Race and the team back at home office they've been doing so much work around putting together what I get to somewhat unveil, and that is the Solvasa Life App. We are putting together a platform to be able to give these great practices, tips, and tools out to the masses, to be able to equip you, the connector, as well as our customers with great practices where they can truly start taking and merging their skincare routine in with their self-care routine. Elizabeth, thank you so much for coining that for me, because this is where it's going to take that next step to be able to give them access to this great platform with all of this incredible content. And this is just a sneak peek, y'all. I see the chat starting to blow up, but this is going to be an incredible tool for you to be able to use. As you can see right here, there's tons of categories, as well as there's a place for people to journal and write down their 3 good things. So many great things in this platform for you and your networks to be able to utilize. But it doesn't stop there. The next thing is really, let's look into what the VIP program that is going to be taking place here coming in May is going to be all about. It's going to include all of that amazing content, but so much more. When somebody decides to join as a VIP, they can enroll to get 10% off all Solvasa products, as well as that access to our new proprietary Solvasa Life app. They'll also receive the free shipping on orders over $50 or more. And you guys, there's no auto ship product requirement. That is huge. And as you start thinking about what they get for the enrollment fee of a one-time fee of just $12.95, that is the cost of if they just wanted to order something and pay for shipping. So this is a great benefit to really service your customers well and to help you build your customer base. And don't forget, as you start to build your customers, this makes them so much more sticky in the program. It makes them more loyal to you and the brand. And that app is just a whole nother level that is going to increase that customer loyalty for you, where you're going to really reap the rewards as a connector by building out your customer base to just earn great commissions off of. But let's talk about what you have at your fingertips right now, because I've probably downplayed this way too much. And y'all, I'm here to tell you, this is such a great pre-launch customer package. Through the end of April, you all have seen the package. You know that it's our best products out there, the Crystal Energy Wand, the Golden Harmony Cleansing Mask, the Distress and Serum and Glide, and that sample of that elixir. Great products, but it doesn't stop just there. They also get 10% off all Solvasa products for a year. They also are going to get access to the Solvasa Life App for a year. They also get shipping on all orders over $50. No VIP program enrollment fee right now, because that is our gift to them for coming in early. This is everything that they get, and this is valued when you take the app into place. This is valued at over $350 that they're getting for just $197. Now, this is only through the end of April, because as we go into launch, this package goes away. So what can you be doing now? You can be sharing the great benefits for them to come in early, to experience these products, to really take that self-care, to make that spa retreat out of their bathroom, and to make sure that they're taking a moment for themselves and making themselves essential every single day. Now, you as a connector, don't forget, that still builds your customer base, that loyalty and that reoccurring order again and again. It also gets them into the app and that content where you'll be able to have more touch points and more conversations that lead to more. When you share the pre-launch package this month, in the month of April, and you have 4 new customers in the month of April, you're also going to receive as a gift our Solvasa Slouch bag. Now, this is a great conversation starter. Not only is it a great functional bag to take to yoga or to the gym or maybe to the grocery store, but when people see a great quality bag, they stop and ask you. I know this from experience. They ask you where you got it. What does Solvasa mean? Again, we want to help you create conversations to just really grow your network and your Solvasa business. So what can you do right now? Start the conversation. We have so much information in your studio right now. We just uploaded a ton of social shareables for you to really engage your network with, as well as we have an email going out that's going to recap this entire April promotion, as well as give you some more talking points, as well as a flyer that's in the studio for you to share out and give talking points to. But we don't want it to just be something you share on social media. These are also great conversations. And this is also something great to follow up with. If you've already talked to somebody about Solvasa, this is a great thing to go ahead and follow up with. So here's what I would highly recommend is make sure you're equipped with all the conversational pieces. There's a great flyer in your studio. There's the email that's going to come out to kind of recap the April promo. Check it out, download it, read it, digest it, and then start building and crafting your language around it. The next thing is to reach out. If you're going to reach out on social media, start by getting engagement. Use the social shareables, but also ask engaging questions. There's so many great tools on Instagram and Facebook at your disposal. You just got to play around a little bit. So I really recommend going on there and playing around with asking questions first. Are you treating yourself well today? Are you making sure that you're essential today? Because you are. How are you doing self-care? How are you taking a moment for you? Because we all know that when we feel better personally, when we take a moment for ourselves and we feel better personally, we become better for our family. When we become better for our family, we become better for our network around us and those who we impact every single day. So we wanted to equip you with a little bit of a peek into what is coming with that great Solvasa Life app. We will have more information as we go. And we also wanted to make sure that you know what you have right now to be out there sharing with, because now more than ever, people need to know it's okay to take a moment for themselves. It's okay to experience a great thing for themselves, have a little selfish time, a little me time, feel essential so that they can be better for everybody else. As our motto goes, our manifesto goes, we want to help empower people to feel better for themselves so that they can in turn be best for those who make life worth living for. So with all of that said, we hope that we have shared a lot of information with you tonight. We hope that you feel inspired. We hope that you guys feel equipped to go out there and share, because now is the time more than ever to share and spread the word of Solvasa. So wishing you all many mindful moments, many golden moments, and happy wanding tonight. Thank you all so very much for joining us. Bye-bye.